I wonder if those boys could have made a bigger mess.
That's not right. Alright, that's it. Okay, so calling anything to do with Half-Life a hidden gem is a stretch. I'll give everyone reading the title and rolling their eyes right about now that. But if any of the mainline games and expansions was the black sheep, it would be Blue Shift. For people who don't know, Blue Shift is the second expansion to Half-Life 1 and also the second developed by Gearbox software. But let's not get bogged down with any repercussions or modern day associations. Opposing Force was the first expansion pack and I genuinely love that game. Another hot take is I really like Half-Life. I know, it's a brave thing to say, such an unknown game. But Blue Shift, not a huge amount of people jump out of their seats at the mention of this 2001 game. Half-Life 1 was released in 1998. It blew the gaming world apart and then 3 years later we got Blue Shift. As much time between the original as Half-Life 2 in 2004. That is not to say there are not advancements in the game. This doesn't feel like a 1998 game. Gearbox tweaked the graphics and engine so that there's a new shine on the Valve world. And I remember at the time even thinking it looked quite next level. Let's see, what else was out in 2001? We had Halo, Serious Sam, Max Payne. Blue Shift might not be as cutting edge as some of these, but I think it holds up well enough. You can judge yourself when we start playing through the game, see what you think of the graphics behind me. The game was announced in 2000 as part of an upcoming Dreamcast port of Half-Life, and at the time had the working title Half-Life Guard Duty. But publisher Sierra Entertainment announced the final game title as Blue Shift on August 30th, 2000. This didn't occur to me at the time. I read Blue Shift as purely a reference to our character's shift as security. But Blue Shift light phenomenon is also a scientific term relating to the Doppler effect that light coming towards the observer has, where the shorter wavelengths give a blue ultraviolet appearance and when they're moving away appear red. I 100% understood everything I just said. Heavy reporting went into the Dreamcast port, including higher detail models and textures that were double the polygon count of Valve's original Half-Life. So what happened to that Dreamcast port? In September 2000, Sierra explained Blue Shift Dreamcast was delayed by Sierra to ensure that high expectations of consumers were met. I think we can all take this to mean, wow, this console is not selling well and we are getting a little scared. So the port was pulled just weeks from release, and since the game has been floating around on the internet. So in 2001, Sierra announced that Blue Shift would also be released for Windows as a standalone game that would not require the original Half-Life to run, and that those lovely new polygonal models developed would also be included in the PC version as the Half-Life High Definition Pack, and could be applied to Half-Life and Opposing Force as well. Blue Shift and the High Definition Pack were initially absent from Valve's content delivery system Steam in September 2003, despite the presence of both Half-Life and Opposing Force on the system. The game was released on Steam in August 29, 2005, along with the High Definition Pack. It took that long despite Half-Life 1 and Opposing Force being on the platform for years. I will get to the reception on Blue Shift later, although you can probably guess. For now, let's get into the story and play through the forgotten weird brother of the Half-Life family. Not the muscle-bound army gun nut, not the sexy mute scientist, but the run-of-the-mill blue-collar security desk brother, who people kind of forget in the end.
I'd like to get my hands on the guy responsible for this mess.
Adventure is a wonderful thing.
So I guess I should cover Half-Life 1's story very briefly for those who haven't played it. Based in a gigantic underground facility somewhere in New Mexico called Black Mesa Research, we take the role of Gordon Freeman, a scientist who through science magic accidentally opens up a portal into an alien world called Zen, allowing access both ways. The facility begins collapsing in on itself. Alien monsters of every size wreak havoc in the laboratory hallways, and Gordon must use his silent wits and skills to navigate threats, both human and extraterrestrial, stop the alien threat and escape Black Mesa. Blue Shift is set in the same Black Mesa facility and the exact same time frame as Half-Life. Just like in Opposing Force, this expansion pack focuses on telling the story from a different perspective. Not army boys, but instead a security guard named Barney Calhoun. Yes, we learn his surname finally in Blue Shift. So in the first game we saw the incidents firsthand from the scientists conducting the ill-fated experiment. Opposing Force had us breaking into Black Mesa as a US Marine and showing why they were so lethal to the scientists and Freeman in the first place. And now we get to see what the friendly blue uniformed chap we ran into a few times got up to when we weren't around. Opposing Force had us helicoptering into the gameplay, so what will the third entry do to spice up the game opening?
Good morning, and welcome to the Black Mesa.
A train ride. Again. Just like Half-Life. Makes sense we aren't in the same carriage as Freeman as he passes by us in the original. But this is a little familiar. See, there he is. Hey, Gordon. I don't know, I feel like a fun back entrance for lower employees on the Black Mesa hierarchy could have been fun. Like an endless shitty staircase with broken lights. Or Barney's stuck in traffic on the way there. Train ride exactly the same as the first is a little... yeah, it's a little unadventurous. Ooh, hey, pizza. Pizza. Still, I always enjoy just sticking on this opening as well as the first, sitting back and watching Black Mesa working away behind the scenes, seeing funny snippets as well as setting player expectations to keep an eye on the background storytelling that will come later. Solid, cozy vibes. We arrive at our station. Oh hey, it's that part from Half-Life 1. You could say that sentence a lot in Blue Shift. Oh hey, remember this, remember that, the camera is here now. Oh look, we're seeing it from a different angle. As a big fanboy of the game, sure, not gonna pretend I don't enjoy this point of view change, but this on top of far more innovation would have really made this game something special. Let's get inside, report for duty officially, get our uniform on, which means we gotta go to our locker room, find Calhoun's specific storage. Let's see what insights into Barney's character we can get from here. We suit up and it's time to get some weapon training in. Training. Fine. Let's speed run the training because it's basically the exact same from Half-Life 1. Only with a holographic, you? Me? You? How does that work? Did we program this? Do we retrain ourselves every day? Are we human? We learn how to run, walk, jump, crouch jump. Oh yeah, crouch jumping. Is that a thing in games anymore? Let me know in the comments below if there's actually games nowadays with crouch jumping still. I don't remember it for a while. It's like jumping, but more. Want a sneak peek of those updated models? Well, I'll leave the judgment up for later. We learn about ladders. Ho ho ho, we will get to ladders in this game later.
Walk directly into the ladder, look up, and continue moving forward. If you can't push an obstacle out of the way, you might try pulling it. To pull a
I
box,
wonder if this will be the only bug I see in this game. Ew, bugs. Fall damage, using the medical station to regenerate our health. Science, of course. Turning valves, flashlights, and finally guns. Here's our first weapon remodel showcase. I like it. I love the old model, but this is a solid M16. Please don't hurt me gun nuts in the comments. Pew pew some targets and we are ready to go. Okay, so back to the main game, and we were sent to the shooting range to... wait, didn't I just do this? Okay, we actually are just picking up our trusty firearm for our duties today. Doesn't mean you can't go back and check out our fellow guards practicing their aim, though. That is an interesting technique.
Good morning, Gordon.
Okay, we are fully geared up now. On duty, we immediately get our first task, which is to help scientists in an elevator. Can do. This bit right here brought me back horrific memories to IT support.
I can't really tell.
Right. Let's try this. If you're waiting for the train to second
Hey, I know
you,
you.
then you're probably better off walking.
On our way to the scientists, we see G-Man passing by because, you know, Half-Life. Gotta do that. I could get this brand thing, or... I should get back to work, but this vending machine is tempting.
Well, it's about time. We don't pay you people to mosey around.
You
at your
people.
own convenience.
Yeah, Barney for the most part is not treated well here. Elitist snobbery of scientific superiority is rampant in Black Mesa. And you as Calhoun are just a whipping boy. You should be happy to even breathe the same air as these guys. Well, at least we can operate a lift. Awkwardly standing with our colleagues who detest us, everything kicks off in the background. This is finally the true beginning of the game. A common criticism of Half-Life 1 was that it is like a theme park ride. You just linearly wander through the setting, and stuff happens around you. Well, Blue Shift seems to double down on that at times. I genuinely feel like I'm in a Universal Studios ride here. All hell is breaking out now, and it's time for us to navigate Black Mesa, you know, exactly like Half-Life 1. Because Blue Shift is half light, let's be honest. There are no new enemies, there are new models, but the guns are the same guns really underneath that shiny new coat. And it's all just so familiar. Again, to me, not a huge thing, but oh well. Hound Eyes, the headless sonic boom doggies are the first enemies we deal with. Big telegraphed sound attacks that kinda hurt your ears after a while, no pun intended. Next up, it's early in the game in this franchise, so you know, just head crabs around every single corner, and honestly all that way until the end. I am pretty good at dodging them though. Battering through some boxes with our trusty crowbar, we get to our first puzzle room. Get to a dead end, explore the space, and find out how to progress, usually pressing buttons and jumping. Again, I grew up with this stuff, it might look boring, but it's all good with me. Vortigaunts are up next. You know them, the bipeds who charge up lightning beam attacks at you. Kinda weirdly cute. They ambush us down the sewery tank section for a nice shootout, where we can use our new shotgun. Well, old shotgun with updated model. That being the Spaz 15? You know, the Sarah Connor Terminator 2 gun. Some people have ASMR to calm them down with sounds. My go-to audio for chilling me out could well be Half-Life footsteps. I know an entire generation get cozy-wozy when they hear this clip-clopping sound, as well as multiple other iconic Valve noises. So what about Blue Shift's score? There is no original Half-Life Blue Shift soundtrack. Tracks from the Half-Life soundtrack by Kelly Bailey were reused for the cancelled Dreamcast version of Blue Shift, while tracks from Opposing Forces soundtrack by Chris Jensen were reused for the Windows port. There's some great atmospheric stuff here. Haunting background melodies and sci-fi instrumentals. Or how about a bull squid to shake up the fight? You remember these guys, kind of like Bronco squids. Move along, push some explosives into a water filtration spinning device, and we progress outside. Nope, don't go that way. Instead, hug right to find a delightful old car model and some environmental hazards. I overthink this room puzzle to death. I see leaking air pipes underwater and connections out of place. I find a missing piece to connect the door wiring. Or maybe I cover the air pipe leakage to balance the pressure. Or, you know, just turn this valve at the door. Blue Shift is not a difficult game. That said, I did get stuck here on very, very low health because of an earlier incident with gravity that screwed me over. So this section took a few retries because one head crab jump meant lights out. After making it through, I hear radio chatter up ahead, and spot two Marines chatting in a blood-splattered hallway. Seems they are discussing what to do with this sadly dying scientist here, who in his last bit of life tells us to find Dr. Rosenberg, who is our only chance of escaping Black Mesa alive.
If you still want to get out of here alive, your only hope may be to find my friend. you can get past the soldiers, find Dr. Rosenberg.
Just like in the original, this is the Marines section. In and out of buildings, we fight squads of Marines who use flanking and grenades to flush you out of your hiding spots. They are a bit spongy at times, but this is still fun and even a bit challenging. This puzzle right here did not take me an embarrassingly long time to figure out, definitely not.
Oh? Anyone? No, I'm afraid I'm not Dr. Rosenberg.
A tank section. Tanks usually show up in Half-Life or some kind of aircraft, and our laser-guided RPG is here to sort it out. Always a fun one to use, launch a projectile, then guide it with a laser pointer. Kinda like maneuvering a particularly explosive cat towards something. Up ahead, in another train yard, we find Rosenberg in the back of another train. Scientists are being rounded up by Marines and shoved into train carriages to be free-range farmed, apparently.
Yes, I'm Dr. Rosenberg. Although I'm not very proud to admit it, seeing as though I'm partially responsible for all of this.
I find Rosenberg's model familiar and yet somehow very creepy. Changing models to older and newer here makes no difference, sadly, he just remains creepy. Rosenberg's plan is to use a teleportation device found in an underground lab to zap us out to safety. He's the only one who knows how to operate this, hence why he's being kept alive by the Marines and set to be smuggled out. With him freed, we get an escort section. Rosenberg, please follow me for more than 2 feet. On that note, please subscribe if you haven't. YouTube shows that most who view my videos aren't subbed, so clicking the button really helps a whole lot.
Get on with it! Yes, get on with it!
With only one redo, we finally get Rosenberg back to his laboratory where the teleporter is.
In order for any of us to get out of here alive, someone will have to go to the border world and activate the device. I'm afraid you're the only one who can do this.
Well, I mean, it was hardly going to be that easy now, was it? We are what, 50 minutes into the game now? With no adequate power source, we need to go down into the depths of Mesa to find and charge a power unit. Other scientists went before me to attempt this, but as we just saw before, sometimes the manual basic tasks are not their strong suit. Unless they literally have a strong suit on.
Okay, sir, I can take him. Things. They're everywhere. We've got to get out of here. Hold yourself together. If we don't get the power cell charged, we're all going to die. Get out of here. I can...
So with that way blocked, we have to backtrack and go the long way around to where the garden scientist failed. This section is probably my favorite puzzle in Blue Shift. Nothing crazy, but draining the toxic Slurpee and lining up the barrels to fill the section up again and jump across is quite satisfying. Another satisfying thing is that one of my favorite Half-Life weapons is returning. The Snark, or Snarks. These are cute little critters that hunt down your enemy and adorably munch them to death by 1,000 teeny snips. And they have cute little animations and everything where they snip on your finger, just adorable. With our way clear, we charge the power unit and send it up the elevator to Rosenberg.
Let me see if I can get out of the way.
Then make haste on our way back. Again, at this point it's just over an hour in, and we aren't exactly speedrunning, so at this point we are not just going to Stargate our way out of New Mexico. Instead, Rosenberg explains that we first need to go to Zen. Zen. I said it before, this is Half-Light. We did Zen before, so we gotta do it again. It's more fun than I remember the first time, but this might be just because it's shorter. Climb through some tunnels, meet other scientists who attempt this excursion, swim in some poopy water, jump on some fart pads, even platform a bit more, meet some aliens. When we finally reach the survey site with the crystalline structure and the relay we need to power, and set the signal strength to maximum overdrive. Once that process kicks off, of course, variants show up, including the gargantuan bee shooter, and even the floating large domed dudes who have also made it into repo in recent years. Survive the waves and while the system boots up, and then Rosenberg can finally teleport us out of here and back to the lab in Black Mesa.
Hurry! The teleporter charge is running out!
It's the final countdown now. Rosenberg insists we go last, as you know, scientist hierarchy and all that. So we watch as others go ahead.
Good luck, Mr. Calhoun! I'll see you on the other side!
Rosenberg sets the machine to autopilot and we can then jump in and out. At the last moment of escape, Marines try and ruin the day with a jump scare, but this is Barney Calhoun we're talking about. Our cunning plan executed, we are teleported to just outside. Like we just finished up the Half-Life virtual reality ride, and are making our way out of Valve Land right now.
Come look at Calhoun! His body seems to be in some sort of resonance displacement.
Welcome to hell.
Oh, thank God you made it. I was worried that a malfunction occurred at the last moment and you might have been caught in an infinite harmonic reflux. If that's the case, then you're lucky to be standing here.
That took about 1 hour and a half, and that is being kinda generous. You saw me have to redo parts, and I wandered around with my ADHD brain. Blue Shift is very, very short. So how was Blue Shift received after all of that?
About that beer I owed you. It's me, Gordon, Barney from Black Mesa.
As mentioned in the introduction, Blue Shift received a mixed reaction from critics in 2001. The game has sold about 800,000 copies in retail, and this figure ignores Steam sales, of course. Blue Shift gameplay is pretty much exactly what we've come to expect from Half-Life, by blending action and puzzle solving, stating that the latter were all logical and well done, although some of the jumping puzzles were frustrating. That goes without saying for this era of gaming, to be honest. Though IGN praised the game for maintaining the epic feel of the original, Blevins was critical of the relatively short length of the game. I think we can all agree with that one. GameSpot reviewer Greg Caslin agreed with many of IGN's criticisms, stating that it's not that the game is easy so much as that it's really short, and that Blue Shift doesn't amount to much in its own terms. Other critics talk positively about the actual different scientist NPCs with various lines and agency, rather than just the copy-pasted models in the other games. Obviously Rosenberg left a big impression whoever this reviewer was. So what can I say at the end of this? I played Half-Life probably 10 times as much as Opposing Force, which I played 10 times more than Blue Shift. It's a fine little game. Like some fan of Half-Life grabbed the engine updates in 2001 and just tried to recreate the game from memory, hitting mainly the same notes but forgetting a lot of the depth and great highs, and some of the weapons even. It takes zero chances, which is probably the main problem. They knew they had a winning formula with Half-Life, so why reinvent the wheel? Opposing Force tried some new stuff, despite it also not shaking a lot of the Valve formula up, but Blue Shifts just kinda went eeny meeny miny mo onto another character to follow it on that fateful day. At the end of the day though, I do love being back in the Half-Life world. It blew me away back in 1998 and I return to it in some shape or form every year. If you love Half-Life, you've probably played this already then. If you haven't, then go for it. It's so short, it's not exactly a large commitment. If you haven't played Half-Life at all, then, well, play that instead, and then Opposing Force, and then this if you really want some more. It is kind of like stumbling across a solid featurette of your favourite film. You always want a bit more, and there are some nice behind-the-scenes quotes and footage to make it feel like something new, but in the end it's ground you've covered before. But it doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. So as the title of this video goes, is Blue Shift a hidden gem? Yeah, if I ever recommend Blue Shift to someone, it's because I've just talked about Half-Life with them and the conversation needs to go somewhere. It's an afterthought of Black Mesa adventures, but at the end of the day, fanboys of Half-Life like myself aren't gonna mind too much. Thanks all for watching this. I'm over a month into YouTube now. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, maybe put the notifications to maximum overdrive. And if you really want to go above and beyond with supporting me, check out the Linktree link below or here. where you can buy me a coffee or go to Ko-Fi, etc. New videos every week, shorts and all that fun. Let me know in the comments if there's a game you want me to cover, something that no one else really covers, or some classic old gem. I already got some ideas for forgotten classics from you guys down there. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you soon.
So this is my life. At least I've done better than Dad.